All right, today my guest is Coach Jeremy Nordick, who's also the athletic director from Park Rapids High School. Welcome, Jeremy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
glad to be here.
Great. So, we're here to talk football today, of course, and this is going to be recorded the day before the first game of the upcoming football season. And tonight the team is going to take on Fergus Falls, and there was a tough loss on the road to Fergus Falls last year, and but so it's always good to have a good challenge at the beginning of the year. I noticed that you got a roster of about 79 guys, give or take, and of those that you've got a lot of returning seniors and juniors and everybody's raring to go. I was out at the practice yesterday, and it seems like it's a well-oiled machine or a fine-tuned machine.
Well, we're trying. We're trying. Yeah.
So, what can you tell us about your preparation for the game against Fergus Falls? I mean,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned last year's game, so
Yep.
it kind of brings up bad memories a little bit, but at the same time, good memories because we went back and we've been obviously watching a lot of film there and started off that game 21-0 and right out the gates. And I think a big thing with that, because we blew the game, obviously, we learned a little bit about ourselves and how to win. If you follow Park Rapids football the last 30 years, you kind of feel like it's maybe cursed. And I think our kids have been working hard, our coaches have been working hard to try to fight through that.
Yep.
And try to build a new culture and a new identity. And I feel like last year at that time, when we walked off that field, we knew we were the better football team. And then it was just a matter of kind of tightening the screws a little bit and going back to work. And then obviously we won, 5 in a row or whatever it was,
Yep.
4 or 5 in a row, and then ran into some tough teams there and, ended with a good stretch. But this year's team, I think a lot of those guys are back, and I think a lot of them learned from that situation. So they're all kind of chomping at the bit for a rematch.
Yeah.
Looking for, especially on our home field.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those guys, like I said, we returned 9 starters from our defensive side of the ball, and I want to say it's 7 from the offensive side of the ball.
Yep.
So a lot of those guys experienced that game and last year. So I look for us to come out and play well tonight.
Yeah. And I also think it needs to be said that last year's record 6-4 was a winning season, and that had been, how long had it been before last year that there was a winning season?
I want to say it was 2013.
So
It's been a while. Yeah.
10 years. I mean, to turn it around to have a winning season is definitely getting things on the right track, and then winning a playoff game against Holly.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, of course, you run into that same tough Pelican Rapids team twice, and but that was then. This is now, and the program's definitely going in the right direction.
Yeah, we are. And you'd like to say that it just kind of happened over the last year. It didn't. It's been, this is my 7th year now.
Yep.
But it's been just a grind of getting parents, kids, community, school, district, culture, everything all together in having that goal of working to win. And our kids...
I saw that written on the back of somebody's helmet. Yeah,
right.
Work to win. Is
Yep.
that sort of the motto of it?
Kind of. We have a few mottos and things that we kind of stand for. Working to win is one of them. And then process, pride, and progress is kind of the other thing that we follow. But a lot of that needs buy-in from everybody. And the last 3 years, I would say, even though 2-3 years ago we didn't have the wins, but you could start seeing the culture kind of swing. And we weren't winning, but we were tight with all those games.
Mm-hmm.
Your Fergus Falls, your DGF, some of those teams that we played against in 3A. And we just continued to focus on ourselves and the things that we can control, and that's getting up in the morning at 6:30 a.m. 4 days a week and lifting.
Yeah.
That's the start of it. You get buy-in from that, you start to see your kids become better physically, and it just carries over to the football field.
Well, strength training is such an important foundational element of any successful program. I noticed that you were a quarterback at BSU, and you actually broke some weightlifting records for a quarterback up there.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I don't know. I don't know if those still stand or not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how much were you benching then, and how much are you benching now?
Oh boy.
That's a question everybody wants to know.
Right. I want to say in college there my biggest max was 360.
Okay.
And now I would say I still think I could probably bench that, maybe more.
Wow.
But obviously I spend a lot of time in the weight room with
Do
the
ya?
kids, and I'm in there.
So you're in there lifting yourself personally?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I don't know. It's kind of my philosophy too. If the coach is in there lifting and telling you,
Lead
what
by
to do
example,
and stuff,
right?
and lead by example, exactly. So I kind of follow that and make sure that I try to be in the best shape that I can.
What kind of programs do you recommend for these guys?
We have our own kind of program, but it kind of is a version of Bigger, Faster, Stronger.
Okay.
But with our own twist to it. We base everything off of our three main lifts, which is bench, squat, and power clean.
Okay.
So we max on those twice a year.
All barbell, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We max on those. Yeah. So that's kind of old school.
Starting strength kind of thing. Yep.
Yep. And we go back and we check those numbers, and then we type it into a program. It's actually handy, on Excel, and you type it in and their numbers, and then it just lays everything out for their reps and sets for the day.
Yeah. You have some kind of an award for, Mr. Weight Room and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yep. We give those out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
We have kind of our skill guy and big dudes.
Yeah.
We try to break it down by weights and pound for pound.
Sure.
But yeah, we have a few of those awards that we hand out. And yeah, the kids take a lot of pride in that. And this year, actually, we finally got a couple of kids that... we have 600-pound club, 700-pound club, 800, 900,
deadlift,
and 1,000. No, this is for our three.
Okay,
so you add all three. Yeah, you add all three together.
I was like, which one of those are you doing? Yeah.
You add all three together, so you got your bench, squat, and clean, and we finally got a couple of guys over 1,000 this year.
Wow,
which was outstanding, and
that is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And is your facility now going to be renovated, or has it already been renovated? I've never been in the weight room at the high school before.
Our weight room is already pretty nice. It's a good sized weight room. They're talking about maybe knocking out a wall and adding some space to that. If they do, great. If they don't, that's fine too.
Yeah.
We're okay with the space that we got.
Okay.
We can fit our football team in there, and it's comfortable, and everybody gets through their lifts and rotations, and we have our half-hour lift. We get in there, we bust it, and then we come back out.
Yep.
Yep.
And do you encourage them to do that throughout the school year too, as well?
Oh yeah, they are expected to.
They're expected to. It's an expectation.
Even if you're in another sport or whatever you're doing, you're expected to lift.
That's part of the culture that you're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Pride and what was the other two?
Process, pride, progress.
Process, pride, and progress. Okay, all P's there. Yeah.
Well, capital P, capital R. In all three of those.
I see. Yeah. Process, pride, and progress. Okay. So I can see progress and process and pride and all of those things being encapsulated in that strength program, because it is so foundational.
For sure. And all our coaches buy into that too. And we really, really push it on the kids. And kudos to my staff. They keep track of everybody. We have it all on a chart, and the kids all can see it. It's on a Google form. And we update it daily. And we got a big chart in our weight room of all our record holders.
All things equal, at the high school level, do you believe that, generally speaking, the team with the team who's more committed in the trenches, the stronger line, is generally going to have more successful results?
Generally, yeah, one would think so. We've happened to run into some teams, though, where I felt that maybe we were more physical and stronger up front, but the other team maybe had those two or three special kids, those special athletes that are game breakers that we maybe didn't have.
Sure.
And that may or may not have been the difference of the game. Like, for example, bring up Pelican there.
Yeah.
Last year they had a quarterback that was really, really special. It was Timmy Guler, who's going to play at Morehead State.
Is he? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But, yeah, he won a lot of games for that school.
Yeah. And sometimes they can just do that. I mean, if they're going to be college players, they're standing out. And
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's one that's been doing it for years. And the funny thing is he tore his ACL too.
Oh, no.
And came back
and he came back from that.
Came back from that and was still a great player, a great basketball player too. We ran into him in the section championship for basketball.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of looking over the roster, and from what I observed at the practice yesterday, you've got a quarterback in Carter Hurt, who's returning, I think, as the starting quarterback.
He's not.
Oh, he's not. Okay.
So Noah Morris has been our 4-year starter.
Right, the basketball, right? Yeah.
Yep. But Carter is Noah's first cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and has been Noah's backup the last year.
Yeah.
And Carter was also a starter at corner.
Yep.
For us, and so he learned from a pretty good player.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows here. This last summer, he had a great summer, great off-season leadership, 7-on-7s, installs, weight room, all the stuff that we ask our kids to do. He was there and he rocked it.
Yeah.
And
he threw some nice passes I noticed in practice yesterday.
Yeah,
too.
he throws a really nice ball.
Yeah.
Yep, throws a really good ball.
Catchable.
He's confident. The thing I like about Carter is he's got a lot of poise. He may get knocked around a little bit, but he just kind of just shrugs it off and just, okay, back to the huddle. Let's get the next play and go to work. So that's kind of what's going to make him special. I think the next 2 years is, I don't think he's going to get too up or too down. Obviously, you saw him yesterday, and he does throw a good ball.
He does,
and he's gonna throw some touchdown passes. And he does have a little swag to him, but at the same time, we know high school kids are gonna make mistakes, and he's gonna throw a couple interceptions.
Of course.
The thing about him is it's not gonna bug him. He's just going to move on to the next play. So,
and that's something you absolutely have to do if you're going to do anything at the at a high level of success. I also noticed you guys were running a little bit some option plays and things like that. How was he with his legs?
He's pretty solid with his legs. I don't know how much option that we'll do. If we do any option, it'll be a little bit more speed option to his strong hand. I'd like to see him develop his left hand a little bit more. Before we're more comfortable with it, but I think we'll run some of that stuff, but more so QB power because he's a big kid. 6'2", 6'3", 195 pounds. He can get downhill in a hurry.
Sure.
And he can move people.
Yep.
We haven't really had a chance to do that in the first few weeks because you don't really want your quarterback to get knocked around. But you'll see him running tonight. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, good. You have some size at the wide receiver position, too, I noticed. In number 8, Ryan Carroll, I believe he's a senior.
He is, yep. Ryan, what a special player, special kid. His family moved here from St. Michael, Albertville, back when him and his brother were sophomores. And his brother's a wrestler. But Ryan, the special thing about him is he's such a gamer. When we got him his sophomore year, it's like, okay, well, this kid's a nice, big, talented athlete, and he just kind of in practice, you just go through the motions and you do your thing. And we put him out there on the varsity field, and the lights are on, and he's out there just making plays all over the place. And we're all like, wow.
Was he a defensive end too and everything?
Yeah. So he starts on both sides of the ball for us. And last year was kind of his coming out party as a junior. Making big plays, big catches. He can go up over the top. He's not afraid to catch the slant over the middle. He blocks downfield well. I think most colleges, there's some NSIC schools that are interested in him. I think they want him at DN, though, just because of his frame and his athletic ability. So I think tonight, right now he's at a 6. And I told him this. If we can get him to a 10, then
look out.
Watch out.
He's going to be one of those game breakers.
He's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And when he does that consistently, we probably could hang with a team like Barnesville. Yep.
Okay, well, hopefully that will be the case.
Yep.
Now, do you have captains on the team, or is it?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. We have 5 captains. Carter's one of those.
Yep.
Ryan's also a captain. Caleb Weaver.
Yep.
DeAndre Johnson, and then Landon Strasburg.
Okay, and they're all seniors and.
No, Carter's the only junior.
Yeah, Carter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Carter's the only junior there. The rest of them are seniors. Yep.
Okay. All right, and so let's talk a little bit more about your coaching philosophy in general.
Sure.
So, like, what about your motivation of players, and how do you have a general approach to that, or what's your take on it?
Well, I tell you what, it's changed over the years. This is going into my 19th year now as a head football coach, so it's changed a little bit. But teaching, coaching, it always comes back to building relationships. And letting the kids know that you care about them. And I think that's where it all starts, because that way when you get after them, they believe you, they respect you. And I kind of start there, just trying to build, whatever it may be. How'd your night go last night? Or, how's your family?
When do you start talking to them? I mean, like when they're freshmen or even earlier than that? Or how do you start that?
Well, our program actually starts with our Panther Pack K through 2.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So it goes way back to our elementary. And so we kind of start there and then, again, build relationships with the kids and our coaches.
So you're out there even with the young kids, yeah.
Yep. We actually have our varsity players help teach and coach our Panther Pack kids.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, and it's really, really been great for not only those kids, the young kids, but our varsity kids as well.
Yep.
Just to know and understand that. But, you go from there. So you start your relationship with them, and then you start talking football and what the expectations are of them on the football field and off the football field. And then you get into the disciplines and stuff like that. Going back to the expectations, what do I want to see you at the end of the year? What are your goals? And we kind of go through all that stuff. But I used to be a little bit more in your face. Like if we were to fumble the football or miss a block or something like that, I'd almost let the whole city know about it. I'm a little bit more laid back now, and I just kind of I let the kids and coaches do their business. I try not to lose my mind too often. I mean, there is those moments where a coach has to do that.
And the coach is mad.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's just a little bit of it.
And do you find any of it is like different, different techniques for different players, and you kind of have to?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, you kind of know. And going back to those kids when they're at a young age, you can kind of tell who you can get after a little bit, and then there's some other kids that you got to be a little bit more positive or passive.
Yeah.
With them to get your point across. We have a pretty good mix of those kids in Park Rapids. Each kid obviously is different, and each kid brings their own role to the team, and we try to let them know that every day.
Yeah. And so how often do you practice during the regular season?
So Monday we go film in weight room.
Okay.
That's what we do right after school. And then Tuesday we'll go 3 to basically 6 o'clock. And then we lift in the mornings.
Yep.
So we get them up, get them to school by 7, and then they lift for a half an hour, and then they shower up and go to class. And then Wednesdays go to 5:30. Thursdays is all pre-game stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll get in our game uniforms and kind of run around a little bit and get ready for the game. So and then we report Friday night. We'll report tonight 6 o'clock game at 4 o'clock.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there any kind of like a team meal or anything like that you guys have on Thursday nights?
Yep. So
how does that work?
So the parents they organize that.
Yep.
Which is outstanding. It's something that I haven't had to worry about. But they bring all the kids. We'll either do it at the school, or some parents will just have the whole team over at their place.
Yeah.
And you get the crock pots out and everything, and kids seem to enjoy it and they embrace it. Like today too, we do our Friday morning we call it the game day grinder. So it's a recovery lift.
Yeah.
So they go do that for a half an hour, and then they all go out to breakfast together.
Oh,
Yeah.
where do they go?
Well, they went to the Great Northern today.
Oh, they did, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that must have been quite a crowd going.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I hope they behave themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and I hope they carved up a little bit too, and I hope they're ready to go. But they were all pretty jacked up this morning in the weight room.
Do you guys have, as part of that, the whole, I guess, strength and conditioning program, do you guys also have a nutrition program that you recommend for them?
We try to, but you got to remember you're dealing with high school kids.
Of course, yeah.
So
yeah.
We suggest and encourage different things that we'd like for them to eat and drink.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you walk down the hallway and you see them with a Monster drink or whatever. It's guys.
I try to
come on
encourage
out.
any young person I come into contact with not to drink those,
Right.
even though I drink them myself.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah.
Yeah,
agreed.
those are not good. But so is it like a high protein type diet for
sure.
the most part? Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And Angel Clark, our athletic trainer and strength and conditioning coordinator, she talks through that all the time with them.
Yeah.
And not only that, she talks about visualization. We've been heavy on that this last year.
So what's that?
Visualizing success. And it kind of goes back to our Pelican game. And it was a Saturday afternoon. It was the section semifinals, and our kids have never been in a situation like that.
Yeah.
And you could just tell that they just were off. Like, should we be here? Are we supposed to be
It's
here? Or what's
daytime.
going on?
Yeah.
It's daytime. It's awkward.
Yeah.
And they kicked our butts. They just, because they've been in that situation before.
Yep.
And we kind of set out to, I don't know, get the kids thinking about that a little bit. Being able to focus and lock in and realize that it's just high school football.
Yeah.
Granted, you're in the section semifinal game, but you need to be ready to go. And football, man, you played football. You can't go into this game with any fear. And I thought our kids did that last year, and
Intimidation, yeah.
Intimidated.
I talked to Coach Bill Moore. I'm sure you know Coach Bill Moore about that, because when they have to go against Warroad, usually at the end of the season, it's like, how do you get these guys to to get into into their head that they could possibly win this game? That's got to be tough, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
It is, and especially when you're dealing with the culture of kids that have never done it before, and we're still working on it. We're trying to do every little thing that we can to help them through it. Winning obviously helps. So I think
success breeds success, right?
It does, and I don't care who you play. Any win is big, and if you can build those up, and then get your confidence up enough to where you got a little bit of swagitude.
Yep.
And get into and get into playing those upper echelon teams. And
because then you are one of them.
You're right. And right now, actually, by the coaches in Section 8AA, we're picked to finish second in our section. Right. So there's a lot of pressure there.
Who's favored to win?
Barnesville.
Barnesville's
pretty much favored to win the state championship.
So if you knock them out, then where does that leave you?
Well, it'd put us in the state tournament,
right?
Our goal though, and it's been no secret from our coaches to our kids, is to make it to that Fargo Dome and to have an opportunity to play against Barnesville or whoever.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm sure seeing what the success that Nevis enjoyed last year, winning the state championship, probably showed you guys that, hey, look, it's achievable, right?
Oh, without a doubt. And kudos to Coach Klimek and Nevis over there. They always seem to find 5-6 kids, just talented, tough kids that know how to win. And you talk about that culture and that expectation, and they have it over there with their football program. And he's built it and grown it, and we're still on the rise. We haven't got there yet, and for whatever reason. I can't really pinpoint anything, but a lot of it's been scheduling the last 7-8 years.
Yeah.
When you're going against a DL, when you're going against a DGF, Fergus Falls, Thief River, East Grand, those
bigger
teams,
schools.
They're all bigger schools, all of them, and it's tough. And we never made that excuse, but the reality of the situation is that's where we're at.
I mean, the reality of the situation, at least for as far as I can see, is that if you've got 1,000 more students, that means that you're going to have just so many more to choose from. Right?
You're going to have 10 more at least.
Yeah,
you're going to have 10 more, and odds are at a DL or East Grand or DGF, they're going to be 10 pretty good athletes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a simple thing, and the more bodies you have, that It also seemed like you have a really good dedicated coaching staff.
We do.
Then assistants and things like that. And so, how do you guys, as a coaching staff, approach game preparation?
Well, each guy has their own responsibilities. Like I got my offense coordinator, Kevin Murphy. He has
the baseball coach.
Yep.
He's also been on this. Yeah.
Yep. He's got everything laid out on what he wants and his goals, and as far as his game plan and how we're going to attack Fergus Falls, he's got that all kind of lined up.
Yeah.
Jesse Buckles is our defensive coordinator. Same thing.
Yeah.
I think Jesse probably would want to go about 5-6 hours of practice each night, just to work on defense and making sure we're prepared for every little thing that Fergus Falls or anybody else for that matter, what they do. They're all of them. They all have their specific roles. Josh Papanda is great with our offensive and defensive line.
I saw him running that practice yesterday.
Yep,
he was like he ran a pretty tight ship.
He does. He gets into them, and the Sanford brothers that we have, D-back and linebacker coaches. They also work with our JV kids. Are awesome. Randy Thompson, who I've been working with for years and years, even when we were back at United North Central. Just a great football mind, and he's a Park Rapids kid.
Oh, okay.
And then Brian Johnson. Brian, we call him our mofo, master of football operations.
All right.
Yeah. So that's what he does, and he also coaches our special teams, and all those guys, they all have a passion for football and a passion for coaching and teaching, and boy, that's year round. That's all they're thinking about is football and these kids and how we're going to get them better.
Yep.
And they absolutely love it. I'm proud to be the head coach on this staff because just all those guys are just special, talented individuals. And to be honest with you, as the AD in Park Rapids, to have a group of guys like that for one sport is pretty special. It just doesn't happen. Usually at a smaller school, you got your couple of guys that had a lot of football experience, and then you got your few guys that are just along for the ride that
I just want to be helpful.
They want to be helpful and do whatever. These guys all played college football aside from Murph.
Wow.
Who played college baseball.
Yeah. Yep.
And they know the game, they understand the game, and just trying to get that integrated into our kids' minds is tough.
So this I don't know if it's through that mofo guy or whoever it is, but how much advanced scouting of the opposition do you guys do, and how do you do that? Do you send scouts to the team or to the game?
Sure. Yeah. So like last week we sent a guy to Randy to do some notes. Fergus Falls was scrimmaging at Alexandria.
Okay.
So I mean, he went down and just kind of wrote down the different things that they're doing and some of the kids that they have, which we already know who they got. They're talented athletes.
Knowledge is power, right?
Exactly. And then after that, there's the huddle program that everybody exchanges films.
Oh,
so it used to be the old VHS, man. You'd meet at the gas station somewhere halfway and exchange film. You don't got to do that anymore. It's a click of the button, and so
it's like a subscriction service or something.
Right. Yep. And it's really, really handy. Tonight, our live stream will be on there.
Yeah.
And then Huddle also breaks it down for you, like stats and different things. And if you spend a little bit more money, it'll give you like their tendencies and give you their plays and a whole list of different things, and which we have all that stuff, and it costs a little bit extra, but it's worth it. It really helps our staff out.
So I guess I like all the sports, but probably baseball is my favorite sport.
Sure.
And in baseball, there's been this whole analytics approach and movement that's happened. I guess probably now for the last 20 years or something like that. But there's now, I guess it's probably also in the last 10 years been sort of a shift towards using those kinds of techniques when it comes to football and stuff like that too. I mean, how much of that do you guys actually look at? And
that's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because now with our huddle program, it's school wide, District 309, so we embraced it.
Yeah.
And I won't tell you what the bill is on that, but now we're going to be able to live stream baseball, softball, hockey, the whole shebang, and all that. You talk about your analytics and stats and all that stuff. Baseball will have that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it'll be able to calculate, a guy's batting average or
all that.
Every stat, baseball stat. It kind of takes care of that. So that'll help out Murph a lot and Coach Gaden, obviously. So,
what's your thought process as far as in-game coaching when it comes to 4th and 2, or like those kind of plays where you're just like you can go either way. Like, how do you make a decision like that?
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was thinking about that actually. I do a little cardio on the bike in the mornings, and I kind of have my thought process, especially on game days. But I was thinking about that today, and this team is different. I feel like we're kind of trying to build it around our defense, and I want to protect our defense.
Okay.
And that hasn't always been my philosophy. I've always been an offensive guy. We're going to go for it. We'll go for 2 if we have the opportunity to do so. Anytime it's 4th and 2 on that side of the 30, we're going to go for it.
Yep.
This year, I think you're going to see a little bit different approach to that. If we're in between the 40s, I'm probably going to punt it.
Yeah.
And try to pin teams deep, and like I said, protect our defense a little bit, and give high school teams a long field to go. And you mentioned analytics and stuff. Jesse Buckles, our D coordinator, he's got it all laid out to where
you have like a chart with a grid and all that.
He does. He has a whole chart with a grid and how often other teams scored on us from 70 yards out, from 60 yards out, from 50, all the way down to, a turnover inside the 10-yard line. And it looks pretty good when we make teams go 80 to 70 yards. It looks really good. So if we can do that and keep teams pinned down, obviously you don't want to punt. You want to, settle in and run the football and move the chains. But if we get to a 4th and short or a 4th and 2, unless the situation really looks good, then I'm probably going to protect our defense on that.
A little bit more of a conservative approach.
A little bit more this year, probably, I would say. Of course, I say that now.
Yeah.
And we get into a situation where we're down 14-7, and it's the middle of the third quarter, and you want to build some momentum. Well, then my mindset changes a little bit. Let's maybe think about going for it.
So, couple of follow-ups on that, but one of them is that you always see that if anybody's watching the NFL or something like that, they have a sort of pre-scripted. When it comes down to the clock is running out, when do you take the time out? When do you do this? When do you do that? Do you guys have something like that?
I have a little card that I bring around. Okay. That I have in my pocket.
Yeah.
I've looked at it in 19 years, maybe 3 times.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's just
school, then.
it's all instinct.
Yeah.
And I've been playing this game or coaching this game since I was 4 years old. So
right.
I don't think there's a situation out there that's going to surprise me.
Yeah.
I do
you just instinctively know what the right thing to do is at the time.
It depends. Usually high school football is pretty simple.
Yeah.
And I listen to the advice of my coaches at times, depending on the situation and how they're feeling. Like, offense coordinator, it's like, man, we gotta go for it here. We gotta start throwing a little bit. We're not moving the football. Okay, well, let's get in the gun and let's start winging it a little bit. Things like that. And then defensively, well, okay, Jesse, can we go for it here? Do you feel confident enough in our defense where you're going to stop these guys?
Right.
And he'll say, yeah, coach, let's do it,
Right.
or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so defense. I noticed that after you guys were wrapping up the plays in the practice yesterday, that the defense would all kind of swarm to the ball and do some kind of clapping or something like that. But what's the defensive mentality, and how are you working on that in practice?
All 11 to the ball. All 11 to the ball. It's constant. It's all the time. Everybody get to the football. I don't care if it's a fumble by the quarterback, then our free safety needs to be on a beeline sprint all the way to the ball. And same thing if they throw a deep pass down the sideline, our nose tackle better be sprinting down there and getting to the football. That's the mentality that we're looking for, and that's why you see we kind of build in our defensive pursuit drill in our team defensive sessions at practice. So when you see our scout team run a play or whatever, everybody will sprint to the ball, and they'll do their breakdown right there. And we wait for everybody to get to the ball, and we break down together, and then we sprint back and get ready for the next rep. It's kind of just, it reminds the kids, it's just habit forming that all 11 are going to get to the ball.
And what a great feeling it is to play defense in high school.
Oh, man. Yeah, thinking back a little bit, too, when I was in high school at Moorhead, and obviously you being from Stillwater, those are big schools, and you'd be lucky to play both sides of the ball. I was fortunate up through sophomore year to play quarterback and middle linebacker. Well, junior and senior year, middle linebacker kind of went away.
Because you're the quarterback.
Yep. And I don't know, you look back now and it's like, man, I wish I could have played a little bit more linebacker, because it is fun. Defense,
the Mike backers calling the defense,
right? Oh, man. Yep. And I mean, it's legal violence. You just go after people. And
I know. I heard it said before that it's, football is the greatest sport because you actually get to go out and take out some of the aggressions that you might have on other people.
You do. And tonight, and we got a lot. You saw yesterday just the talented kids that we have on defense, and boy, we have a lot of stuff in. We threw a lot of stuff at them as far as X's and O's and philosophy wise. Sometimes in high school defense, you just need to find the football and go after them
and run downhill toward it, right?
Downhill toward them, and I hope our guys are comfortable enough to pin their ears back and just go after people tonight, because Fergus Falls has this kid who's really, really athletic at quarterback. So if we can kind of get to him a little bit and funnel him up, he's not going to have any fun containing him. But he's one, I think, if we can put him in the dirt a little bit, I don't think he's gonna like that too much.
All right,
so that's kind of our goal.
Oh, everybody likes to see that kind of football.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Who are your biggest influences in coaching?
Oh gosh, I have so many. And it all started with my dad. My dad was lifelong AD and head football coach at Northern Cass High School in North Dakota.
Yep.
And that's Argusville, Arthur, Gardner, Gren, and Hunter, all together as one school. We lived in Moorhead, though, so I went to Moorhead, and he went to Northern Cass. But like I said, when I've been playing or been around football since I was 4 years old, and that's because of him. And it's just been a part of my life. I was standing there on the sideline with him when I was 6, 7 years old, on game nights and stuff. So it was just kind of integrated into me. And then from there, just all the influences that I had, being fortunate enough to play quarterback at Moorhead High School, that was something that was very special to me and all the coaches that I had there. Yeah. Which I respected very, very much, and I still do to this day. And then from there, I ended up going to Southwest State. I got recruited hard from Southwest State, so that's where I went the first couple of years. And then they kind of...
You had a master's from there too, right?
I did, but they got rid of their coaching staff, and that changed my role a little bit.
All right.
But I had a really good game against Bemidji State, and so they knew who I was. And I kind of went there and finished out my career there. But all the coaches and all the different schemes that I had, from both colleges, just kind of, helped me grow as a coach, and and my knowledge of football.
Yeah.
And then after Bemidji State, I don't know, I felt like I needed to play a little bit more, or I had something to prove. And
You played some arena ball,
I
didn't
did,
you?
yeah, for the Sioux Falls Storm, and there was a tryout down in the cities, and so, you know what, I'll go give it a whirl. And there was a number of other quarterbacks there, and I just went and did my best, and I actually had a really good tryout. And well, they signed me there that night, and which was amazing.
Professional football.
Yeah, getting paid to play. So that was really, really something special for me and my family. As a rookie quarterback in the Arena League, I didn't get paid a whole lot, but I mean, it was still something, and really just an awesome experience. But I still had a little bit of school to finish.
Yeah.
And after a year, it's like, okay, do I go back? Do I want to keep pushing this thing? Do I think I can go to the next level? And I just thought, maybe it's time. We'll hang up the cleats and finish my school, and then I'll go start getting into coaching a little bit. And so yeah, back to all the coaches and stuff. All those guys were all those head coaches and offensive coordinators were all influential in my football background. And obviously I've had some close relationships with a lot of those guys throughout. And then it all kind of just comes back to my old man.
Yeah. So who are some of the best players that you've coached and also faced as either a player or coach?
Oh, man. So I would say two of the best players that I probably have coached. One is Charlie Herlichka from United North Central. He's a Monaga kid.
Yep.
He ended up playing at Bemidji State, but kind of his claim to fame is he covered Adam Thielen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
When he was at Mankato.
Yeah.
And Charlie was an all-state sprinter.
Yeah.
And absolutely loved football. I mean, he was just a bulldog on the football field.
Yeah.
And he was really, really special. Fortunate enough to coach him. And then in 2015, we went to the state semis. And our quarterback that year was Tommy Tellers. And Tellers, he's a baseball guy. He plays for Bluffton.
Yeah.
Or he did play for Bluffton.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does anymore.
Okay.
But just one of the most talented, naturally just God-given talent that I've ever seen as far as an athlete is concerned. And he could have played anywhere.
Yeah.
We put him at quarterback because that kid's will to win
That's natural.
was second to none. And whatever it took for him to get us a win, he would do that. Coach, you need me to go QB sneak all the way down the field?
Yep.
Give me the ball. You need me to sling this 30-yard dart over here? I got it covered. And those two guys really kind of stand out. And then lately I would say, well, my relationship with Noah Morris, I don't think I've had a relationship with a kid I don't think I've been as close, because I was fortunate enough to coach him in basketball last year.
He brought you so far in basketball too, right?
And just to watch him grow from his 8th grade year all the way to his senior year, and all the tough moments that kid has been through, that we've been through together. Yeah. Him just getting pounded on every single play, but he just pulls himself back up and gets the next play. And to watch him kind of get over that hump and then take our whole school, our whole culture, the football program, the basketball program, and move it forward, move that dial forward.
Yeah.
Key
figure in the
he
program,
put it on his shoulders,
Yeah.
and he did. And he moved it forward, and I don't think I'll ever forget the effort that he put in for Park Rapids. And there's not a lot of people that know what kind of Noah was all about, but 6 a.m. lifts and being the last guy off the field and studying the game and doing just whatever it took to get this program going. And he was instrumental in doing that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll come back from wherever he's at and be a part of the program as a coach later on.
We saw him last Wednesday. He showed up at practice and
Oh,
he
he
helped
did?
us out. Yep.
Did he?
Yeah,
Is he in
did.
college now, or what's he doing?
Yeah, he's going to Central Lakes College to play basketball.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And
Yeah.
I think that'll be a great
in
fit for
Brainerd.
him. Yep. I think that's going to be a great fit for him. I think he'll do great over there. Fit right in. Maybe play a couple of years there, get his basics done, and then maybe go to a 4-year somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, just two kind of closing questions here. So, one of them is, what kind of life lessons can a person learn from playing football?
Pretty much everything. You can learn how to deal with adversity. That's the biggest thing is adversity and persevering through that. I got a big plaque on my desk. It says perseverance on it because, boy, I tell you what, there's some dark times here at Park Rapids with all sports, but football especially. And it kind of taught me a little bit, like, because I was naive enough to think I could come in here and change it overnight. And I was dead wrong. And I had to learn a little bit about myself, and perseverance was one of those things, and dealing with adversity and how to cope through some of that stuff, because football has meant so much to me over the years, and to lose every Friday night, just the way we did, that was really, really hard. It was tough. And I know it was tough on the kids, but yeah, it's tough on coaches too, and it was tough on me. So I think those are a couple of the big things, is adversity and dealing with that through perseverance and fighting through that. Obviously, motivation, excitement, having the brotherhood, kind of the family atmosphere that we've created with our guys. Some guys, maybe they don't have the greatest family life at home, but at least they can turn to football and turn to our football team for a little bit of guidance or a little bit of help and that positivity. So I think football covers pretty much everything that you could maybe even ask for.
Yep.
And I don't know, that's probably the biggest reason why I love it so much.
And then a related question, which is young parents, who have a child at, kindergarten, first, second grade and everything like that, who may be having some doubts about, hey, is football the right thing? Is it safe, and everything like that. What do you tell a parent in that situation, and how do you encourage them to allow their child to participate in football?
Well, there's been plenty of parents over the years from all age levels that have asked me about that. And kind of my big response to that is, I'm never going to put your son in a situation to where he's really going to be uncomfortable. And, which is kind of wrong, because, they're on the football field, you're going to be uncomfortable.
You're uncomfortable when you're lifting weights, like,
for example, I'm not going to put a 130-pound kid on the offensive line.
No.
And I try to reassure parents that football is a safe game.
Yeah.
More people get injured in soccer, and pads and all that stuff. Your whole body's covered for the most part. There is going to be some injuries. There is going to be some knee situations, some concussions, and sadly, there is sometimes things that are a little bit more serious than that.
Yeah.
But you get that in every sport. Yeah. You really do.
You do.
And I just feel like you can learn so many more life lessons through football, even through an injury. You talk about perseverance, you tear your knee up, like the Timmy Guler kid from Pelican. Man, he just strengthened it back up and got back out there and didn't give up, where a lot of people tear your knee up, well, you're going to live a sedentary lifestyle the rest of your life. So I don't know, there's positives that come about it, but telling parents, and try to just reassure them that I'm going to take care of their son is really big.
Yeah. Well, Coach Nordick, I want to wish you the best for the upcoming season. We think it'll be successful, and we're looking forward to seeing you out there tonight against Fergus Falls and cheering on the Panthers.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited about it tonight, and I'll look for you guys up up in the crowd.
All right, yeah.
And cheering on the troops here, and love to come back and visit again if you have me.
That'd be great. Okay, Coach Jeremy Nordick, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.